Ah,
Welcome to Blazing Baseball, episode 112, where we blaze through today's baseball topics, and we are Astros and Yankees fans.
yes, sir.
So right now we have the Astros and A's starting right now, and we also have the Twins and Brewers live in the bottom of the fourth, and it is 3-3.
Tied up.
And earlier today we had the Braves at Phillies, with the Phillies winning 7-2. Sorry if I mispronounced any names on this podcast. With the win going to Gibson and the loss to Morton. And then happening now, we have the Potters at Tigers, and the Angels at Royals, and the Tigers at Brewers, and the Nats at Dodgers, and the White Sox at Rockies, and the Astros at A's, and the Giants at D-backs, and the Rangers at Mariners. And later today, we have the Marlins at Reds, with the Marlins Garrett, who is 2-3, versus the Reds Castillo, who is 3-4. And then we have the Rays at Orioles, with the Rays Rasmussen, who is 6-3, versus the Birds Wells, who is 7-6. And then we have the Cards at Blow Jays, with the Cards Wainwright, who is 6-8, versus Toronto's Gossman, who is 7-7. And then we have the Guardians at Bum Sox, with the Guardians Quantrill, who is 7-5, versus Boston's Evalde, who is 4-3. And then we have the Yanks at Mets, with the Yanks Herman, who is 0-1, versus the Mets Scherzer, who is 6-2.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Yanks got their work cut out for them today. Well, yesterday was an uneventful day for the Astros and the Yankees. Astros lost 5-3 to the Oakland A's in Oakland Coliseum in front of 5,103 fans at Oakland Coliseum. But even though they only had 5,000 fans, they won 5-3. Astros had 7 hits and 3 runs. Maldonado and Alvarez had doubles, and Tucker had a home run, but it wasn't enough because we only got the 3 runs. And the Athletics had 6 hits and 5 runs. They had a home run by Pinner with 3 on for a grand slam. So that was how we lost the game. Garcia got the loss. He's 8-3 for the season. He went 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 4 hits and 4 earned runs. He had 7 strikeouts, but he gave up a homer, and his earned run average went up to 3.81. The winning pitcher for the Athletics was Montes. He's 4-9 for the season. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and the 3 runs. His earned run average is 3.18, and the save went to Trevino. He's got his 10th save, and his earned run average is 6.68. He threw the 9th inning and gave up no hits. So the Astros are going to have another shot at the A's tonight, and they are starting. Who's chucking?
So, on the mound for the A's, we have Cole Irvin, and he has a 3.05 ERA. And then on the mound for the Stros is Javier, who has a 3.13 ERA. And then up first for the Houston Astros is Altuve at second base, batting 275, and then Gurriel at first base, batting 236, and then Alvarez at DH, batting 307, and then Diaz at third base, batting 235, and then Tucker at right field, batting 250, and then Chazzy Fizz McCormick, batting 234 at left field, and then Dubon at shortstop, batting 210, and then Myers at center field, batting 230, and then Lee at catcher, batting 222. And then up for the A's first is Machin at third base, batting 203. And then Kemp at second base, batting 209. And then Laureano at right field, betting 227. And then Pinder at DH, betting 247. And then Andrus at shortstop, betting 236. And then Vaught at catcher, betting 146. And then Piscotti at left field, betting 204. And then Bride at first base, betting 227. And then Bolt at center field, betting 214.
Okay, and we have a live game on Major League Baseball. Colorado Rockies in Colorado winning 3-0 over the White Sox in the second inning. Okay, back to what happened yesterday. The Mets beat the Yankees at City Park in Flushing Meadows, Queens, 6-3. Yankees took the lead. They had 2 home runs in the first inning by Judge and Rizzo, but then they got cold. Mets scored 6 runs on them. Mets had 10 hits. The Yankees went down. Montgomery got the loss. He's 3-3 for the season. He went 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 5 hits and 5 runs. 2 of them were homers, and his earned run average went up to 3.5. The winning pitcher was Walker for the Mets. He's 8-2 for the season. He went 6 innings. He gave up 7 hits and the 3 runs, and his earned run average went down to 2.67. Diaz got the save. He was tough. That's his 22nd save of the season, and he was throwing 100 miles an hour. He's tough to hit. He threw 1 1/3 innings, and he had 4 strikeouts. So he struck everybody out. Was pretty dominating. There were 42,364 fans at City Park Field, and that left the Yankees still in first place at 66-32, and the Mets are in first place in the NL East at 60-37. And then we're going back at it again tonight
in
Flushing,
Queens, New York, at 6:10 Central Time. Up on the mound for the Yanks is Domingo Germán, who is a right-handed pitcher who is 0-1 with a 15 ERA and 2 strikeouts. And then on the mound for the Mets is the ace Max Scherzer, who is a right-handed pitcher who is 6-2 with a 2.28 ERA and 98 strikeouts. Right now we have the Mets lineup in, and we have Nimmo in betting first at center field, betting 263, and then Marte at right field, betting 299, and then Lindor at shortstop, betting 250, and then Alonso at first base, betting 280, and then Vogelback at DH, betting 228, and then Canna at left field, betting 267, and then McNeil at second base, betting 292, and then Escobar at third base, betting 219, and then Naito at catcher, betting 216.
Let me refresh it and see if we can get the Yankee lineup in there. Should be popping in soon. Negative.
So we'll give you all the Blazing Baseball predictive lineup here.
Okay, they put on the Houston Astros against the Oakland A's. It's the top of the first. Astros have runners on first and second with 1 out. No score.
And the lineup off of yesterday's lineup against the Mets. Up first, we have LeMahieu at second base, and then Judge at center field, and then Rizzo at first base, and then Torres at DH, and then Carpenter at right field, and then Donaldson at third base, and then Hicks at left field, and then Connor Falefa at shortstop, and then Trevino at catcher. And then in the standings in the AL East, we have the Yanks in first, 11.5 games over Toronto.
Still,
in the AL Central, the Twins are 2.5 games over the Guardians. In the AL West, the Astros are 11 games over Seattle.
11.
In the NL East, the Mets are 2 games over the Braves. In the NL Central, the Brewers are 3 games over the Cards. And in the NL West, the Dodgers are 10.5 games over. Yes.
So he's getting cortisone shots in the back from a spine surgeon, and they're hopeful that he'll be okay in about a week, but they're not sure. So hopefully Mike Trout comes back. He's a big part of the LA Angels and a big part of baseball. He's actually the highest paid player. So anyway, hopefully he comes back and
according to
the season well.
Spun.com by Andrew McCarty, It says Los Angeles Angels star Mike Trout is reportedly dealing with a rare back condition that could cost him the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And according to Frostad, who is a doctor, said this is a pretty rare condition that he has right now in his back. Then it says, for it to happen in a baseball player, we just have to take into consideration what he puts himself through with hitting, swinging on a daily basis just to get prepared, and then
Right.
also playing in the outfield, driving for balls.
Yeah, diving for the balls too. Because, as a batter, you play in 162 games. How many swings are you taking with the bat? It's hard on your back.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. All of them, every player, they got to be worried about their back. But
Yep.
it seems like it got to him. Now we're in the second half of the season, and I think you'll start seeing more of that type of injury where there's stress injuries on players because they're tired. They've been playing a lot of baseball already, and there's still a lot more to go.
Yep.
Just a little more than halfway into the season.
Yep, and we'll keep you updated on this injury and catch you all tomorrow here on Blazing Baseball. Blazing through tomorrow's baseball topics. Peace.
Blazing Baseball. Peace out.